This just in, it's hot at Walt Disney World. Bob Iger brought this to our attention just recently, and now it seems that the Imagineers are finally getting the story. As such, maybe you're wondering why it was that Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge were built with very little shade. Now, a new covered seating area has risen up between Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land at Disney's Hollywood Studios, but many are asking the same question: is it enough? And has Imagineering lost what it once had in terms of innovative ways to help you stay cool? We'll talk about it today on That Park Place. Culture, not that you need any trouble being cool, my friend, but there's nowhere to get out of the sun in Toy Story, really.
Oh, it is the most uncomfortable place to stand in line. They had to, you remember the army of umbrellas they had to put over the Slinky Dog coaster queue? Holy cow.
And their response was this little tiny area right here that's got some covering right here between Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story with no real seating other than like a bench and like a table. Let's take a look at a few pictures of it here. WDW Magic has a gallery. The shade canopies and the new seating area between Star Wars and Toy Story, excuse me, at Hollywood Studios are now complete. You see the canopy there, a couple little tables there. These are going to get filled up instantly. You're never going to be able to actually sit at them ever. I can tell you that right now. There's just not nearly enough space for the people that need it. This is a standing table over here, it looks like. Another one over here. You got benches in the side. And yeah, not very big, Culture. Not great, Bob.
They really do need, this has been a problem in the Studios Park at every level since it was designed and built. As they continued to remodel it, they didn't even account for the need for shade. And then when they flipped backstage for onstage, you know, when they remodeled for this latest iteration of the park, I think they missed 100 different opportunities to create the same kind of thing they have at DCA in California. California has an enormous quick serve restaurant that's close to the Goofy's, you know, flying lessons or whatever that attraction is called. And that area there has enormous amounts of shade. This is what, maybe $2,000 or $3,000 worth of shade cloth that they stretched, you know, over an area that's really just a pass through, right? I mean, this is not, this is just a traffic area. I don't think you want to claw. Now you're going to congest the areas that you're supposed to have your people passing through. This is a bad plan.
This is built pretty well off to the side, I think. I don't think it's gonna so. Yeah, I don't think it's going to pose a traffic issue. But I mean, do you remember, Culture, when there wasn't enough shade at Epcot, and the Imagineers designed a way to drape tarping over Innoventions West?
Yeah, and that worked out really well.
Yeah, it's just, it feels like there's just a lack of creativity where it's like, oh, okay, well, the way we can get around there being no shade in Toy Story Land is just to build a little offshoot area where there's some shade.
It was, and the way they did it at Epcot, it was geodesic. That was actual shape language they were using with the shapes of the tarp, so it blended in with the surrounding architecture.
I remember those.
They don't. Why can't they do that now? Why aren't there cutesy little toy things that help to support the shade? They're like a shovel in the backyard that they have, or any of these other things didn't contribute to the overall comfort of guests.
What a great idea, Culture. The whole idea is to make you feel like you're small, right?
Yeah, you're immersed.
It would be so cute, like a little pail, a little shovel. Yeah.
Yeah,
this is themed to Galaxy's Edge, though. It's not themed to Toy Story.
Oh, that's even worse.
If you notice, this is not Toy Story theming.
This is that area what I was talking about before, where you walk from Toy Story Land into Galaxy's Edge, and it was kind of like it's Galaxy's Edge, but generally nothing's there until you get to the shops, right? For that 200 feet of walk space, and it's
one attraction created this problem, by the way, Midway Mania. And they had to construct the extra track. If you guys don't remember, going way back in the Florida.
I remember that.
And then they had to, in order to get Toy Story Land, they didn't want to demolish a couple of sound stages, so they flipped backstage for on stage, and that created this issue where no longer did the sound stage shade a substantial portion of the walkways and the attraction queues and things like that. now all that backstage area that was super sunny just gets pounded all the time. Comes down to poor design.
So MJ, have you ever like stopped to eat at Toy Story Land?
It does not intrigue me to stop and eat there. No, sir.
See, I actually do like to stop and eat there. I actually find Woody's Lunchbox to be a pretty decent quick service eatery. The problem is though, there's nowhere to sit, and you're usually just standing out in the sun trying to eat a grilled cheese sandwich.
Right.
And like I think that's what this was trying to be an answer to. I just don't think it's big enough.
It's so congested. It's too congested, and it's like you want to go try one of their snacks, but then what? You want to sit down. It's too congested.
And they have just added a new snack kiosk here as well, the overturned popcorn bucket gimmick that they've got there. So that's another area now where you can get some snacks. Nothing like that crazy. It was a pretty standard one. But I like the food in Toy Story Land. It's just they've been trying to add additional seating to Woody's Lunchbox for forever, and it just seems like there's never enough.
Right.
Ron, I'm sure you have stopped there for food multiple times. What is?
I've just stopped there.
To find shade.
Oh God, it's hard. Let me tell you. I have to tell you of a really awful experience that I had there. The restrooms next to Woody's Lunchbox. You know what those restrooms are, right? We go into there one time, and I'm telling you, it was one of the worst experiences ever because the whole thing was just absolutely infested with love bugs. Yeah, it was love bug season, but it was like I've never seen that many thousands of love bugs gathered into one place. It was gross. Like I went in and then immediately stepped out. I had to go somewhere else to use the restroom, but that whole area, and what I mean, but like that whole area back there is always massively congested. You have 3 attractions like kind of right there. You have Midway Mania, and then you have the coaster. You have the alien swirling saucers. It's all right there. It's the kids gravitate towards that area. Families gravitate towards that area. The restaurant, I don't think really helps relieve the traffic. And I'm not talking about Woody's Lunchbox. I'm talking about the Roundup Rodeo. Doesn't really help relieve the traffic very much. And I just don't know. This doesn't look like a great solution. Plus, this solution is, again, it's in Galaxy's Edge. It's technically not in Toy Story Land, which the weird thing about theming, I don't know if maybe I'm like the only one who's ever thought of this, but I used to have this viewpoint of where I worked when I was a cast member. I could look down on Hollywood Studios and I could see the Andy's backyard, Toy Story Land, and then Galaxy's Edge right next to it. And it looked from there that maybe they were trying to theme Galaxy's Edge to the idea that Andy had built a Star Wars play place in his backyard, and it was actually part of the toys from that perspective. But it's I don't know that anybody else thinks of it that way. I might just be crazy, but it's the whole thing. It's very strange to me the way they did this.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, every time I'm there, I think of how much I miss Lights, Motors, Action. I think of how much I miss the whole the backlot tour. I know it's not a big deal to other people, but I didn't think that I was going to miss it as much as I do now, which is really weird. But I miss that whole era, the backlot tour, Lights, Motors, Action.
Lights, Motors, Action was here for several years after I moved here. I think I did it once, so I don't really miss it that much. I wasn't really a frequent. I do miss the backlot tour though. I did like that, and I liked the fountain from Splash. I liked that little back area that they decimated for this. But the thing that I really miss, that I think about all the time, is the Osborne Family Spectacle of Dancing Lights.
Yes, every holiday.
Yeah, which they have completely undone and gutted and all of that, nonsense. So yeah, it's rough, but the thing with Woody's Lunchbox is you have to end up doing the thing that I hate doing. It's when you get your food and you have to stand there with your tray and hawk for a seat. Like you have to just wait for someone to get up. And then the worst is you'll be standing there for 25 minutes and then some guy will literally just get there and he'll get the table before you because he was closer to it. I get so angry.
That's very annoying. And you know what? For someone like yourself, Marvin, who's been to Epic, you dined at Toadstool Cafe. Can you explain to me, as someone who has not, the difference between Woody's lunchbox and the Toadstool Cafe?
Well, I mean, they're two very different things, right? Because like the quick service locations at Epic Universe are treated like table service restaurants, which, you know, Disney has tried to do things like this before in the past. Like, I remember there was a time where, like, Cosmic Rays Starlight Cafe, you would go in there and they would find you a table and they would seat you at the table instead of being a free-for-all. Now it's a free-for-all. But if you go into Toadstool Cafe, you don't even, there's a counter where you can order, but you don't even order at that counter. You keep going, and then they will seat you at a table. Like the host will seat you at a table.
Okay.
Yeah, they will find a table for your party. They will seat you at it, and then you order from the app.
I love that.
And then they bring your food to you.
And Woody's does not do that.
Well, no, Woody's can't do that. Woody's is an outdoor location.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know, but it would be nice if there were cast members there that help you find a table.
Yeah, that would be great. Absolutely. Especially if you're a big party of like 3 or 4 or 5, you know? Jeez.
Yeah. So what I typically do when it comes to Woody's lunchbox is I take the food, I leave the tray and just kind of leave with it. And I try to find a place to sit. Sometimes that involves going all the way over to Galaxy's Edge because nobody's ever there. Trying to find a place to sit, maybe outside the docking bay or over by Ronto Roasters. There's usually a place you can find to sit somewhere, but it's not going to be in Toy Story Land. You have to basically like get your food on the way out of Toy Story Land and like carry your grilled cheese sandwich. You know,
that's why we've never been intrigued to dine in Toy Story Land. We're just kind of like in and out, you know.
There's a place right next to the lounge at the Brown Derby restaurant where there's always open tables, so that's a good place to take it. I don't like to carry the tray that far, even though it's just, you know, it's just a tray. It just, you know, goes into the whatever. But I will typically leave the tray so that some cast member doesn't have like a you know, issue with no trays or I don't know. But I will try to find different places to sit, essentially. Sorry. I get distracted by things in the chat and then I lose my train of thought.
Hey, look, my solution to this is just find the top of a trash can.
The trash can dining table. I mean, that is that's a historical site of culture, you know, but it's really unfortunate because typically you're not alone in these parks. You're with your family or friends and you want to find a nice, comfortable place with AC or a nice, cool shaded, you know, area so you could relax. The whole point of eating is to refuel and you know, just cool down a little bit and then keep going about your business, right? But I mean, it's just not, Toy Story Land doesn't have that kind of atmosphere. It's not giving you those accommodations to do that. Eventually we would like to do the barbecue. I don't know if any of you have gone in there, but I heard it's pretty good. I forget what it's called. It's in Toy Story Land. The barbecue.
Woody's Backyard Barbecue.
Thank you. Have you guys tried the food from there? Or?
I've not eaten there. Ron, have you done it?
I don't. I have several friends that work there, but I haven't eaten there yet.
It's all. I know it's all you can eat. I know, and I think like an indoor seating area would be great for Toy Story Land. It's just, you know, it needs more shade. It needs more seating. This isn't it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So, guys, if you are planning to dine in Toy Story Land, maybe try to think ahead and make alternate arrangements as to where you're going to be sitting, because modern Imagineering is more concerned with lounges and shape language and less concerned with blocking the Florida sun.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.